and Maserati. Ha. I'm giving them hope. You giving them hell. You filling with pride. Then you send them to jail. I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie, and don't ever tell. I'm giving them hope. You giving them hell. You filling with pride. Then you send them to jail. I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie, and don't ever tell. Put it in your pocket before they come and pocket you, nigga. That's when they sit you on your pocket with a Glock to you, nigga. He ran out of time, ain't make it to the hospital, nigga. His body cold, the stick inside him. He a popsicle, nigga. It always be the ones like guns, you know I got you, my nigga. That fuck around and rock you, and I ain't talking foxes, my nigga. They fuck around and pop you.
What's up, everybody, man? What's up? What's going on, man? The CMPradio.net, man. I know I'm in here with my jacket on, right? Just ran from outside. It's cold outside, man. Please make sure you bundling up. And if you see somebody outside that might be displaced or might be homeless, you know, if you got an extra jacket, man, give it up, man. Absolutely, man. But I have it's my pleasure, right, to sit down with my friend, my sister. Listen, man, she's fighting for, you know, the 159th, right? You know, she's running for state rep of the 159. It's a major uphill battle for her, but I don't think she sees it as a challenge. I think she's ready. I think she has the necessary tenacity that is needed to be able to make this push for this office. Shout out to the incumbent, you know, Brian Kirkland. What's going on, man? It's gonna be a battle, man. You know, and I'm hoping that people understand, you know, why she's running, So she's here to explain it, right? I'm not gonna sit here and bore y'all to death, right? Because that's what I tend to do. People tend to fall asleep on me, but I want to tell everybody, man, you know, happy Saturday, man. The game was live today. Go check out the game on CMPradio.net. Also, Chester Upland School District has their own, like, YouTube page or television network. So, man, go make sure you like that page and watch the game on either page, right? It's CMPradio.net. You already know, man, the voice of Chester. Yeah, man. You already know who I am. That's me, Uncle P, community optimist. Now, an optimist is a person that sees the glory for all the strife, right? That doesn't put you down and uplift you, right? I don't have a problem with anybody that's running. I don't have a problem with any party. I say just come here to CMP so you can talk to the people, right? It's about talking to you, the people that are watching right now. So share this live one time for the one time. Make sure you let everybody know that me and Carol Kazeem are going to have a conversation on why she's running, what she hopes to achieve if she wins, what she hopes to achieve just by running, right? Because understand the city that we live in, right? And understand what we're trying to do, right? CMP was founded on cultivating mature positivity. Understand, we started a radio station, right? We keep it moving, we keep it going. From that, other radio stations pop up or other people doing the exact same thing pop up, and that's not a problem at all, right? But we have to work together, right? We can't continue to try to do this thing ourselves when there's a way to do it together and we get more things done that way. But Carol Kazeem, how you feeling?
I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm here. I'm feeling good.
You feeling good?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you know, I want to talk to you, you know, about what you were doing before. Let's talk about what you were doing before this whole running situation, right? A little backstory on your education, your age, what school you went to, all that good stuff. Let's start at the beginning.
Well, what I've been doing, I've been getting on everybody's nerves.
Right.
Honestly, so just a little background. I'm 29 years old. A lot of people think I'm older,
right.
But I'm not. You know, I do surround myself with a lot of individuals who are older than me because, you know, sometimes it can be who you may associate with at the time, depending where you at in life. I did grow up under the Chester Upland School District, so I am from Sun Village. That's where I grew up on the east side. I also then, attended Ridley High School, where you lived pretty much in Eddystone, Crumlin area. And then about a year later, I pretty much came back to Chester and been here back ever since then. As far as, me personally, I'm a mother, I'm a wife. I do have 3 babies at home. So, they my heart, everything with them, whole family. I got family all across the United States.
Right.
But, definitely, I got my fam here in the city. I'm an activist, at heart. That's never going to change. I'm a public advocate. And that's something that I do because I've been through a lot myself. And just me being a mother, it's a lot of things that I've, transpired in my lifetime, from being homeless before periods of time, from going through the same situation of being a single, mother, let alone also at a point in time a teen mom, and then also just, being subjected to the system myself, going without food in my belly. So, it's a lot of things that I remember not being able to have, either that support system growing up or even that one person that really still came in my life and changed it. I just want to be able to be that better outcome for the next individual, especially, young women who, we feel as though that we're not able to get majority of that, support like we should. Right. So just really trying to, show other young girls, other young boys, there is a light. At a point in time, I never even think I was even going to make it to this age, and I mean that with everything. I used to really just think that, it was a matter of life or death at a point in time, but God, so I'm here and, and I'm here to show others that we can definitely do more, and I'm here to show others that, we can make more of our community, something that I felt like I'm gonna say me, I wasn't really taught growing up. It was just, you gotta work 2-3 jobs to put yourself into a different community, a different school district, and then you can make it. But growing up as a young, I'm gonna say at the time, black girl, fought a lot of battles, man. When you grow up in a community where they feel like you're not gonna make but so much, when you fighting the violence around you. Again, I grew up in South Village, so you fighting, what I mean? Then from there, you go straight down the street. And I just got put in a school that I ain't really know nobody looked like me. We had a certain percentage, of the females and men that was there. And a lot of us, our bloodline came back from Chester or Philly, but they did everything they can to keep a lot of us in the alternative school next door unless you played sport. And that's what they looked at more. But it was a lot between self-identity, trying to fight with them up there, trying to make our voice be heard up there, then coming down back to your hometown and still fighting another battle with trauma and so forth. So it was a lot, but like I said, God pushed us through and I'm here and I don't take that for granted at all, seriously.
Yeah, that's important, right? Because when you deal with a lot of the he say, she say stuff about black women, right? A lot of the stigma on black women is that they're angry, right?
Yeah.
How do you plan while you're running to prove the other side that you're not angry, that you're about community building, right? It's not about you personally. It's about your community, right?
All right.
So how do you plan on showing people that, I'm not angry, I'm not mad. I just believe that I have to fight with this much force?
Well, the first thing is getting people to understand, and in all cases you may not be able to understand, but the truth of the reality is that as a like you said, as a black woman, we are the head of our households, even though our men is there. But we carry a lot on our back, so it's not more so anger. We have to get them to understand there's a lot of individuals, who are Caucasian that, are around me, and I even talk with them. It's not more so anger. Sometimes it's frustration. Yes. We're built with, being warriors. You understand what I'm saying? In our communities, you're dealing with a higher population of black women being single mothers, right, and raising young boys and, raising girls. So we have that within us to be mothers and fathers, so we're built from that. And, when it comes to motherhood, you fighting for your cubs. Right. So I'm roaring, so anyway, it's like, we gonna protect ours by all means necessary. So, going out there on the house floor, just trying to get them to understand is that I want them to know that the same way y'all want to eat in Radnor, Newtown Square, in your rural areas, we want to eat too. Right. And that's what it come down to. My moms would never starve, and I mean that. So, they need to understand that. And I feel like if they can at least have a dialogue where we can get them to understand that Put yourself in our shoe. And sometimes they don't want to, but you have to look at them eye to eye, you know, and get them to understand. Put yourself in our shoe. You know, you sit around here, you have children who are dying right now on the streets due to drugs too. Not even just gun violence, but drugs.
Absolutely.
It's times where I have those talks with those same individuals that you think that they look at as, oh, they just black women angry. But then when you have to talk from a mother perspective and let them know that we got girls and young boys, or we have adults out here dying in the street to these drugs, they really take that to heart. They start looking a little bit indifferent. Speaking, you know, sometimes you got to meet them where they at, you know, bring up the kids. A lot of them don't like that when they be, oh, don't break, but you have to. Right. Oh, you a father? You a mother? Oh, okay, what would you feel, you know, if this was your son or your daughter? Sometimes that'll make them feel, you know, a little bit away. So another thing, we just have to discipline our mindset. You know, I was just talking to somebody when I say that, you know, as much as we might want to come out and hoop or holler, you have to learn how to pick your battles, and that's just the truth. So in every situation, you don't have to go in bullheaded. You know, sometimes just having a talk, a meeting dialogue can meet something. Now, if you running your mouth, you know what I mean, I'm not going to let my face turn blue. Right. So if I keep talking and you not even trying to take in consideration just to take heat into what someone is saying, especially when it's something that can really affect, you know, the babies or anyone in our community, our residents, then that's when you're going to get the mama bear, you know. So I just think that, you know, you just have to know how to pick your battles and just discipline your mindset to just sometimes just calm down and, you know, just hear them out, you know, because we can agree to disagree, you know, and I think that's the first step, is that we're not always going to agree with everything, you know, but being able to just give them that transparency to, you know, at least listen to them and just take that in, I think would, you know, help a lot with that too. But again, you know, I feel like no matter what we do, sometimes we're going to always have that label across our forehead.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? All the labels are tossed into our barrel, right? And then, you know, the first one to pop out is instantaneously given that label, right? So, you know, I definitely feel as though, you know, I've watched you for the past 2 years, you know, be involved in, you know, your neighborhood and in your surrounding neighborhoods. You know, you had Delco Resist. You were down with Delco Resist, right? Yeah. I remember riding through Aston and seeing you in front of the 7-Eleven. I had to pull over my car, right? And I'm just watching. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want to. I see you're fighting your fight, right? And it's my fight as well, but you're fighting it. So if you receive any people coming at you, then I'm getting out. But I'm not going to get out if you're good. You feel me? Like, you know, you have my support. So, you know, watching you out Aston and going back and forth with the lady at the 7-Eleven, and when you looked at her and you said, "Lady, I'm not arguing with you." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
after a while, you just got to walk away.
I said, all right, cool. I could pull off, right? But you know, Delco Resist. Then you got down with the school district and moving for the school district. So you know, I see a lot of different you know, actions and activities coming from you. What do you think is your driving force? What motivates you to get involved with all of these activities?
Just my own story, right? You know, just my own story. When you go from Chester Upland School District to literally like what 1 feet away to another school district, and then you like, why is the difference? You know, you really start to think like, what is going on here? But then when you still young to where you see things, but you still don't understand. What I think motivated me more than anything besides just that is the ignorance of myself to grow up, even though I would say that I probably wasn't educated on things, but the mindset of where I was at, you know, and just really waking up and really thinking, do you want this for your own children? And then remembering that I was that little girl where when you're going through sexual assault, when you're going through being homeless, when you're going through, you know, being subjected to the system, you just really looking at how they really just don't be for you, and then you look for your own or anything like that. It's just, you know, it really bothers you. And then, you know, when you have people that go through depression and, you know, end up in certain situations, sometimes I can't even blame them because it drives you there. It really can mentally. So I think for me, it's just remembering, you know, where I've came from and how far I came and my own story, and knowing times of me and the neighbors and, you know, people that I went to school with, and knowing when we was feeding each other, you know what I'm saying? And like just remembering those days and just thinking now that we adults is like, I don't want that to see that for our babies. Like, I mean that all, like on the bottom of my heart, I really don't. I really don't want to see that for our kids. So when I watch, some of our kids, I was driving through the projects the other day, and I remember being young, hanging up there too, and thinking about that, like when we was out there, playing double dutch and being out there walking back and down the street, up Sun Village, going up and down the street. Sometimes used to spend some days out there down to Bennett too, hanging with certain people, just remembering when it was us getting in the fights and all that. But then now that we're adults, and then it's like we're out to fetch on our own. A lot of us, when you think about it, the same system that we was brought up on, now that things are changing, you see where the rates is at and everything like that. It's we have to fetch for ourselves now.
Right.
Basically is what I'm saying. So when you put in a position of adulthood, you take things a little bit way differently from when you was a child because you took a lot for granted. So I just don't want for our children to grow up and now be put in a position to where they're trying to figure out, where do I go from here? Mm-hmm. What is my purpose? So how do I live from life? Things that we can teach them now to get them prepared for adulthood. That's just, what I feel like is my motivation. It's just, I don't want them to wait. And it's not too late for anybody, but I don't want them to wait until they hit that adulthood age for them to now say, I want to get it together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we work together, we're on Chestorians, we're out here in the community.
Right.
And we're trying to get everyone to understand that, communication is key, right? So I want to ask you a question, right? Where were you when you decided to run? Like, where were you and what were you doing when you said, you know what, I'm going to run for this. I'm going to take this mantle.
Honestly, I was in the house.
Okay.
I was laying on the couch. Uh-huh. Sometimes I, them channels, what is it? Sometimes they be having like the politicians and stuff like that talk on the house floor. Right. And even though I'm an activist, sometimes I tune in. And sometimes I'm gonna be honest, I don't even tune into it because I'm just like, they just talking.
Right.
But what made me really say that I'm just gonna go ahead and do it? I just really felt this spirit just coming in, was like, go ahead for the seat. And people kept asking me before, run for this, run for that, run for this, like different positions. I'm like, no, negative, like never. I'm not even getting in that mess. But I really was laying there one day and just was sitting there laying across the couch. And I heard a particular, I'm not gonna say who, but a particular politician bring up every other community and their wins. And I think I told you about it a little bit. I think I was a little bit pissed off about that. I was like, how they gonna bring up everybody else but this community in their district and not give us the shout out, on our school district and the wins that we was doing too. We up there in the basketball. So it made me upset because you came and wanted to do so much, even though, they talk and all this stuff. I don't put nothing past nobody, but it bothered me to where it's like, but why would this person think they had the balls? And I mean that with everything. Right. What made them think they had the balls to go on the floor and address and congratulate everybody else in their district and leave the city out?
Well, the city's always been left out.
Right.
So for
but you had the balls to lay literally and name everybody.
Right.
So then I thought, okay, I'm going to see who's going to check this person. But then when it was brought back to me, like, well, this person ain't got a problem with, these people ain't got no problem with it. Well, we been saying this ain't got no problem. I said, well, you just ain't meet the right person then. So at that very moment, I just said, okay, well, what is it that I can do? The first thing I thought, I ain't gonna hold you, school board. Right. But then something else in my spirit said, no, you got to go a little macro with it. Right. We got too many issues going on. Macro. So, right. So it was like, it was too many issues that was going on. And I just was like, well, I want to touch this. I want to get that. Well, I need to get with this politician to get about that. Well, I need this person's seat. So now, then it was like, boom, that just came right in my head, state rap. Then I ain't going to hold you. I thought about like, I don't even want to make it personal. Right. Because it ain't personal. It's not personal. Right. And that's something that I had to just now take in, because again, when I feel that spirit and I really believe in the power of prayer, and I really walk with God everywhere I go, no matter what nobody feel, I really take him everywhere I go. So when I felt that and I heard that voice, it was just no turning around from it. Right. So it was like, it's not personal. But then when I think about our babies dying on the street, when I think about how far we at right now, when I think about, when I just think about a lot that goes on in our community, on a mother time, it's personal. But personality as the person who's in the seat, no, it's not personal. But what's going on, the situation, the system is very much personal to me, system-wise.
Earlier you said you were 29 years old.
Yes.
Do you think that you're ready to lead?
Yes, I think honestly it is our time. It is really our time. I can't be a hypocrite anymore and I am calling myself that, because I did stand on the sideline and said, no, I'm not going to run. Nope, I'm not going to do this. Yes, I will advocate. Yes, I will fight. Yes, I will sit behind the legislators, at the table and help with writing this and that and bringing forth these type of bills and all of that. Yes, I did. But I can no longer be a hypocrite and tell people and stand there with people and say, oh, well, y'all need to get involved. Because I heard that a lot from a lot of our seniors, our season. Oh, y'all need to get in. I'm like, yeah, we involved. But then I'm really not involved, because now I'm going 3, 4, 5 steps just to get to one person to look at one bill, or to look at one person just to even hear a voice. Right. So it's like, all of this for what? When I could have just been that direct person to just go to the person. And it's sad that you have to sit in certain seats to be that. But I do believe that it is our time. I've been in the healthcare field for over 10 years. That includes being a caregiver. That includes behavioral health. That includes mental health. I was paralegal major, also with attending pre-law now, planning on being an attorney. So, educationally, also being on the ground, my own story, I personally think that I am ready to lead. Again, it is our time. A lot of the things that we have going on right now in our communities, the ones that are out there right now, or the ones that are trying to even progress, are around my age, or if not, maybe a few years older, 35, 36, and like I said, we were those individuals that we didn't see things going, but now we are, we understand. We're educated now.
You're rising up as you grow older, right? You start to look at things differently. It's like, you're raising up in a room and you're like, oh, I never saw that from that angle before, right? I have to help that. I can do something about that. So, I told you when you called me on the phone, I said, you sure that's what you want to do?
Yeah.
Right? I said, you got to be sure, right? You got to make sure this is what you want to do, because it's going to be a hell of a fight. Right. You know what I mean? First of all, you have to convince the people of Chester, right, that you're for them, right? And then you have to convince the outside people, because it's not just the city of Chester.
Absolutely.
You have to convince the outside people that you're also for them as well.
Yep.
Do you feel as though you can be for Chester and for the outside as well?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because I'm already doing it.
Right.
I'm already around the county trying to make a difference.
Right.
I didn't go marching down Ridley, not because I just went to Ridley School District. Right. I went marching down Ridley because there were still people that were left there, of people of color, from Latino population. And I know the people that have also been subjected from the city going into those areas, ending up with a record, with never even having a record before. Right. But without that, even with just the racial inequity that goes on, so it wasn't something that it was just to run down there because of George Floyd. It was long overdue. In fact, it was something already being planned. Right. So it's something that's already being done. Upper Darby, I'm out there, believe it or not, people don't even know I'm out there 3 times a week. Okay. I meet with EMS out Upper Darby. We sitting out there feeding the homeless, providing medical needs to individuals, people that need help around trauma, people that need help around diabetes, anything, trying to help set them up resources. Before it was even put out there about what was going on with the homeless population out there, people coming from Kensington, we was already making noise about a lot. I just didn't really post about it, but definitely going behind the scenes with different things, was something that we doing. I do stuff out there in Havertown too for individuals that are dealing with things. I've been out Uniontown, fighting for racial, equality too out there, and that's Lafayette County. So it definitely get historically real out there. And then the number one thing that, a lot of people know that may not know, for those that don't know, one of the things that I'm a big advocate for is combating global poverty amongst, people of color, and also, people that may come from other ethnic groups that are more in a poverty, community and society. So being able to learn, to teach them how to build generational wealth through education is what I'm very big on. So just doing that across the board, and not only just in Delaware County, across Pennsylvania, and it also reaches in different parts internationally in other countries, and also in other states such as Chicago. Some people don't know, but I do things in Chicago too as well. So
you
Yeah, no, I mean that with everything. I could call people and they tell you it's in Chicago too.
Right.
So it definitely gets real. So yes, when it comes to representing the city of Chester, also representing the neighboring communities such as Parkside, Eddystone, Traynor, Linwood, Chichester, the entire Chichester now, definitely it is something that we can. And I can, and when I say we, I mean movement, because I believe that we need to all build that relationship amongst each other because we're literally overlapped on top of each other.
Absolutely.
But I can definitely represent every community, and I do have individuals that do reside in each and every one of those municipalities now where we come together already as it is, where if they need things in their communities, we find ways to support and help them too. So for me, that's not an issue.
Let me talk to 9-year-old Carol real quick. This is 20 years ago. I want to go back 20 years ago, and I want to tell 9-year-old Carol everything that you're doing right now. What would 9-year-old Carol say to me?
9-year-old Carol at the time would have really said, no, I'm okay.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
Right.
Because 9-year-old Carol, I think, was at Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was living... I think I was still down South Village at the time that I came over to the. So no, I would have definitely said you crazy because, I mean, my environment at the time, even at the home, that was something I couldn't even look to even see myself doing.
Right.
So, I think my focus would have been at that time what I'm going to eat, that night. So, I would have definitely looked at you. I probably wouldn't even listen to anything you would have said. Honestly, I would have said, "Okay, sir." And would have just kept going. I don't think I would have really heard you. And it's because of the barriers. That was what I was going through at the time. So nah.
And so when I brought that up, right? Because I bring that up for the people that don't know who you are or what you stand for, right? Or they just don't care, right? And they're adults. How do you think it's going to be when you're out here knocking on these doors and you're telling people, "Listen, I'm a candidate for the 159th. I need your support. I need you to vote for me." How do you think that reception is going to be?
Well, I already started.
Right.
So, what I exactly expected, depending on the community and the different areas, if we're talking particularly about Chester, I expected them to do exactly what I used to do. Just look at them and say, okay, thank you. And then there's some where as you start to get older and you start to look into your environment, you start to care a little bit more. Some things hit you a little bit personally. You start to listen a little more to the candidate. So, I do believe I'm going to have some reactions that are going to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm cool. And there's some that are going to tell me, which I've heard plenty of times, I don't vote. It ain't going to matter. Some people, it don't matter who I put in. Nothing's going to change. And those are ones sometimes you do got to, try to keep that dialogue, that engagement, that conversation going. And there's times you can't, but sometimes you just have to show them better than you can tell them. So a lot of times that, if they really just don't want to have that dialogue with them, you just think you have a blessed one, and just show them better you could tell them. But what you got to do is you got to keep coming back.
You got to keep coming back.
Keep coming back.
Right. So, I've learned that, right? Being in the job that I'm in right now, it's not the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the third time, it's not the fourth time, it's not the fifth time.
Right.
You feel me? Sometimes it's the 15th or the 18th time you've seen somebody and they're like, all right, yo, I think I want to take your services on, right? I think I want to be a part of this group. Right. So, for you, this is a short turnaround. When's the election?
Well, the primary is May 17th of
May
this year.
17th of this year.
Yes. So the first step is getting on the ballot.
First step is getting on the ballot.
Which is the petition, and that starts in February.
Okay.
Usually around the second week of February.
Right. So we're gonna try to get on the ballot,
Yeah,
and then in May.
Then in May is the primary. Between me and the incumbent.
Right.
If anybody else doesn't pop up.
Right. And we welcome leaders, man. We welcome.
If anybody else wants to step forward, come on over.
Let's get it together, right? So here we are. We're just worried about May right now, right? Getting
first step,
getting our ducks in a row, right? How do you feel for real? Like, do you? Because I can only imagine how much stress is on your shoulders right now, amidst the stress that you had there before. But how much new stress have you added to your life and with your husband, right? You're newlywed, you just got married, right? And now you talking about, baby, I'm about to run for office. And he like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? What was his reaction?
Honestly, he was like, I'm going to support you. But he was like, I'm from Philly. And you talk about you going to go run to do what? So he definitely was. But he said, you know what? I could see that being definitely you. And that's your thing, and I think you should rock out and do it, because when me and him first met, I know he probably was like, this chick, because it was a lot that I used to talk about the same thing I talk about with y'all,
right?
And what even that's why I married him, because he started getting into the convo, and telling me about what pops off up there, up top and all that. So, just realizing that it's really no different. We in the same community. He definitely did jump on board and was like, well, whatever you need, I got your back. But, he ain't really into the whole politic things anyway. So he just like, do your thing. I'm just here to support.
Right.
So as far as stress, definitely a stressful. Ooh, it's like another job. I'm going to tell you that. It's definitely another job. On top of the job I already have.
On top of
all my jobs that I already have.
all your jobs, man.
Yep. And again, I'm still in school,
right.
still in school trying to, like I said, my goal is still to learn more around law.
What you going to school for? You trying to be a lawyer?
Yeah, I'm going to be a lawyer.
Oh.
I'm going to do that
dope.
too. So you got to add that on your belt, man.
Right.
You do. You got to learn the system if you want to know how to help.
If you want to know how to, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So, no sense of going in there being blind to everything.
Right. So you got to know how to help us. But, as far as the stress, definitely, as far as what I really feel, like I said, I battle with myself every day already as it was to not step into the political thing. But, sometimes I think about it every day. I wake up, I pray on it. It's like, am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing it? And then again, that spirit, that talk come to me, yeah, go out there. So, and I'm just going to keep doing it. So it is something that I don't know what to expect, but I know God got my back. By all means necessary. So, the warrior in me, that fight in me is like, I ain't sweating it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sweating that at all. Again, where I came from, I ain't sweating it. So that's how I really feel. I'm not sweating it, but, again, when you have kids, when you got a family, you just don't know what to expect. But I'm good. God got me. I'm good.
I got you.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm from the Ville. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Definitely.
I'm good.
You're from the city of Chester, man.
I'm from the city of Chester.
And I tell people all the time, man, if you grew up in this city, man, if you hung around with anybody, you have heart, bro.
Right.
Like and it takes heart. When you watch the High play basketball, play defense, you have to have heart, right? So, I don't knock anybody for anything. If it's a dream of yours, man, I can support it and tell you go ahead and get it done. Understand, man, my dad was not very nice when it came to getting dreams done. So that's how I talk to people, right? I'm not going to be the kind mother rubbing your shoulders, and I'm going to tell you go get it done, right? You say that's what you want, go get it done. Go prove me wrong and saying that you can't do it, right? 'Cause I personally, I love you. Right, I know it's gonna be hard, right? But I'm on the side like I don't know. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit there and tell you, oh man, you got this, right? I'm gonna tell you go out there and earn it.
All right.
It feels better if you earn it.
You do. You really do. And I think in the process too, even just me coming back out, even though I'm fighting a thing, I have to honestly say one of the main important things that I appreciate through this whole thing is just being that one-on-one, interaction with the residents, around the 159. So just talking with them, just interacting with them, just really getting to know them personally. Right. And I'm talking about people that you just probably grew up seeing or older people that you saw as a kid, but really being able to really understand who they are, why they may see things the way they do, or, how they living or what's going on with them in their life. I really appreciate that because that really builds a different type of relationship. Right. With your neighbors, with the individuals, and I'm talking about neighbors throughout the 159th and even including Chester. It really just builds a different, level of relationship. So, and not only that, it helps motivate me even more for me to say, like, this is why I need to keep doing what I'm doing. This is why I need to keep being on the ground. This is why I need to keep fighting. And, some people have asked me already, like, hey, how long, is this something you're going to sit in for? No. And I'm being honest, I'm not planning on sitting in for years over years over years over years. The goal is to sit in, help, advocate, lobby, support the communities, but the goal is to pass the torch,
Right.
to open up that door, to allow that pathway for the next generation. I want to be able to bring in other young women, other young black boys, or other people, even if they're even outside of the city, just within the community of 159th. But I want people to understand, especially my generation and younger, that you can run.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of us that really didn't know that growing up. And I'm gonna be honest, and I think that's what transpired in not being able to understand what was going on around our midst and why things are the way they are, because we weren't involved, because we just didn't know. We didn't know how. So now that I'm educated on it, I want them to know that you can run. You could be a part of something that can make the greater good for your community. You could be that change. So, you know, the goal here is to not just make a career out of it. The goal is to also open up the pathways to other people so they can also become that person too, to make a change so they can be involved. And I really believe that if we continue that cycle, we won't see Chester where it's at right now.
Right.
You know, we'll be able to elevate. And, you know, that goes back into the first thing you said, something about, you know, if you, by my age, am I ready? Everything that's going on right now is modernized.
Right.
We have to get up to date.
Right.
So if anybody is going to identify and understand with the way things are moving, it's going to be somebody around my age, if not a little younger, a couple years older.
Right.
So we have to be able to allow the younger people at the doorstep to really be there to support us, along with the seasonal, you know, individuals that been around. You know what I'm saying? So you got to grab wisdom from all angles, you know, from that step. So I just feel like, you know, it's definitely our time. Like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it. It's our time. You know, we have to step up, and there's a lot out there for us, you know, that we're not able to grip on, that I feel like we should, because of a lot of blockages. Right. So I think just opening up that door.
Opening it, kicking it open.
Yeah, opening the door, kicking
that's
it
what you're
open.
doing right now,
Well, yeah, we definitely kicking it open. You
you're
know,
basically going up against a machine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That
and
I grew up on.
Listen, I'm not knocking
My whole
Brian.
life.
I'm not knocking the incumbent. You
Absolutely.
know, Brian Kirkland for
Absolutely.
the work that he has done in the 159. Right. I can't even knock his uncle who did it before him. But we going on 30 years of a Kirkland being in that position.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going against that. Right. That's going to take a whole lot.
It is.
A whole lot,
It
right?
is.
A whole lot of door knocking, a whole lot of proving to people like I'm here for you.
Right.
You know, like, you know, you say you're ready. I believe you.
Oh, I'm ready.
I just want to see.
I'm gonna tell you this. I grew up, like you said, the same machine. I grew up my whole life, you know, under it. So it's not something that I didn't see, you know, and just like I said earlier, it's not personal. The situation of what we're going through
It's personal.
most definitely is personal.
Right.
As far as, you know, the incumbency, you know, I don't know him personally. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something for me to go and bash and belittle, you know, the person. But, you know, I'm going to be honest, we need different, you know, and we have to allow others to come in and, you know, bring that as well.
Right.
You know, so it's definitely, you know, something like you said, I have to do 10 times, 100 times, if that, you know, more and harder. But in my one past step of thinking that it can't be done, absolutely. I believe it can be done.
Right. That's why you're doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm doing it. So again, you know, regardless of what's coming about, regardless of who say what, you know, I'm here for my people, and I'm here for the entire 159th, and I'm here to really make some noise, you know, in the local district and on the House floor, because they're going to stop ignoring us, you know. So, I mean, the truth is, it's a lot of things that's going on. You know, sometimes people don't really understand that in that seat, it's a whole lot more than what we're looking at locally. Right. You know, the issue, the policies and the bills and the noises that are on the Harrisburg is what really trickles down to your local municipalities.
Absolutely.
So when we're talking about what's going on up there, I mean, one of the things I'm running on is we still are at 725 in Pennsylvania. And I speak on that, and I'm going to keep saying it. That's a problem for me.
That's
we should be
wage.
at the minimum wage. Right. We should be at 15. When I look at the entire 159th, then I look at our productivity, then I look at our inflation. Right. I'm looking at the renters right now in this 159th. You know, I'm looking at, I mean, have you ever heard it? I don't think I've seen anything less than $1,000.
What, renting?
Rent.
Oh, yeah, 1,300.
13, 15.
13,
so
15,
I mean 15 is about the average right now.
Right.
So how we gonna make it off of 725?
No, you can't.
You cannot.
But just so you get Section 8,
Right.
and then
But again, for those who gotta
follow
wait
their
years and
rules.
years and years for that list,
Right.
because God knows that's another process.
Right.
So again, what we have going on down here, when you have individuals who just met that 25% over the bracket to where you can't even get food stamps, but you a single mom with 3 kids, but they tell you, oh, well, you still just made that 25 cent more, and it says you can't get in a PA. I mean, what do you tell them? So I'm fighting for people like that in that situation.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's a lot more deeper than what we may look and see. But when you look and see what's going on, know that it's because of those things and issues that are on the House floor, where we are still at 725, but they're expecting, like I said to someone on a podcast last night, you go into a lot of these landlords that are buying up properties. Let's just say Chester, for example. They're buying up properties. They're not nowhere from here.
Right.
Sometimes they're not even from the neighboring communities around here. I'm talking about they coming from Chasford. I'm talking about sometimes they coming from Jersey. They buying up all the properties because they have the money.
Right.
But then they gonna tell me or tell you, I want to see 700 credit score more. I need you to show me that you make 3 times the amount of rent.
Right.
And you looking like off of $9.
Right.
And you want me to pay $1,500 here?
Right.
You know, so it just keeps you there. And then when you wonder who ends up in the house, I'm sure you can figure out the rest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure you can figure out the rest.
Absolutely.
So we need to progress.
I think about that inflation and how they raise prices and how things. So when they do that, you know, does the limit on food stamps and Section 8, does that go up as well? Or does that stay right where it is? That way, because if a person gets a raise and they're dealing with inflation and the paperwork stated that, you know, if they make over this amount, like $48,000 a year, you know what I mean, then they're not eligible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, do they raise that?
They can if they vote.
Oh, okay.
They can if they vote on it to do it, independent if the state want to do it or if it's federal. So they definitely can do it, you know. But again, someone has to bring that on the House floor.
Right.
And you have to have a force on the House floor to all be able to say yes. So you're always going to be met with oppositions. Right. But again, that goes back into, like you said, being that person, that black woman may look like it's angry, but being there on the House floor to say, well, how can that be a difference? The first difference is, again, I've been in a lot of their communities. And when I say there, I'm talking about a lot of politicians that are representing the rural communities. Those are the I'm going to say the opposing party that really puts a stop to a lot that we want to see different, that a lot of our suburban politicians may say. And our politicians or leaders don't really go to the rural areas. Right. So I've been up there and I've seen what it looked like. Right. And I've met with some of those legislators and I had to come for them and let them know, you just as bad for letting your community rot like this. Right. So when they hear or they see that, it gets a little sting. You're going to have some that don't care, but it gets a little sting. And sometimes you have to get their community, their residents to understand that this is what's going on. Like prime example, when we had the stuff going on in the school district, remember I was trying to not get it to be charterized. Right. I went to the rural areas. I was out there at Carbon County and all of those places. And I was trying to get them to basically support Chester Upland based off of what they see too in their school district. Right. And because the rural areas, believe it or not, is actually, you know, it needs more progression compared to us. A lot of times when they see that and they can see that even though we're not in the same party, even though we may not be from the same community, county, don't let those individuals distract the priority and needs of our children. Absolutely. You know, your children are out here without really being able to be given the same, you know, funding, you know, that you really deserve, your children deserves. So when they really see the difference on how we're divided, but they also see the same things that we have going on, then there was a lot of them that was willing to start signing petitions off because they knew they was going through the same thing. And what did? We brought it to their politicians, their legislators, and said, well, this came from your area. This came from your area. I remember showing John Kane, Senator John Kane, and say, yo, Carbon County. And he, you went out there? Yeah, we went out there. You know, so you have to sometimes meet people where they at. So I think if we can start around the board doing that, I think we'll get a little bit more better. Absolutely. And there's people that's going to block it, but I think we can do it.
I mean, you have to move in a certain direction if you want people to understand where you're coming from, right? You have to have a vision behind it, right? Mike Jones just said she got a vision for what needs to be done, right? So you have people that behind you that have been with you for a minute that understand what you want. Is just convincing this neighborhood, this community, right, that you're real, that you're a real person and you care, right, about our children, about our future, about the way things are being broken down now. But I'm gonna keep telling you, you're going against a machine. So but keep your eye on the prize, man. I wish you nothing but good luck, man. I love you, man. We've been doing this since the first time you reached out to me, and it was like, all right, Carol, I can't really talk to you right now because I'm busy. So
Right.
But I've never ever sat here and said, man, she full of. Because I see your work. I see the potential in everything that you want to do. So I'm proud of you, man. You're my sister. I love you. Right. Let's keep moving.
We're gonna definitely keep moving. No matter what this takes. Like I said, I just hope that this still motivate other people to say that you can definitely jump up and step up and be involved and run. And be more. And even if you feel like, because again, you have to be someone that you feel like that's your passion, that's where your heart tells you, that's where it got to be here,
right?
In your stomach. I feel it here.
In the bottom of your
that's
stomach.
Telling me,
Go
literally,
ahead.
really,
Sure
on the bottom.
Sure, you're not hungry.
I'm not hungry. Well, I'm hungry. You know
Right,
what?
there it is,
I'm
there it is.
definitely hungry.
There it is.
I'm
Somebody's got
definitely
big,
hungry.
right?
Yeah,
You
I'm
definitely
definitely.
better be
Yeah, I'm
hungry.
definitely hungry.
Right.
So I feel it. And we really gotta make a difference. We really gotta change things.
Absolutely, man.
So like I said, like you said, ain't nothing personal. Big up to the current administration. Thank you. But it's our time, man. Right. It's our time. That's the best way I could put it. It's our time.
Said if anyone is built for this fight, she is, man.
Come on over. Join the movement.
Join the movement, man. Right now, you're looking for volunteers, are you?
Yes, indeed. Always looking for volunteers. And, we definitely have the door open. Please visit the website, www.Kazeem, that's KAZEEM, and that's M as in Mary, FORPA.com. So if you go onto the website, you can definitely get involved. We have a section on there where you can also put your information in. We'll definitely reach out to you. You can also email me at carol@Kazeem4PA.com. So please, we always looking for everyone to join throughout the 159th. And, even with you joining, this is something that's going to continue to keep going on. We want to really be able to have everyone to, be able to express or, have a space where they can be able to, speak on how they feel and ways that they can be involved. It's a lot of people that have some things going on, some great things going on, in their communities. And I believe that we can definitely put that out there and we can come together on that. So, reach out, join the movement. Anybody asks me what I'm running on, it's called No More Excuses Over Justice. That's the title of this. I don't really like to use the word campaign. I just say movement, but it's a campaign. But it's called No More Excuses Over Justice. So when you come over, we ain't using no excuses. It's either you're going to do, you're going to help, you're going to get involved, and you're going to bring your friend with you, or your family. So please come out, join us. This is something that, we really for the movement, and this is something that is purely just something that we really want to see and different in our community throughout the 159th. So no matter where you live throughout the 159th, please join us. And if you don't live in the 159th, you want to come out and volunteer, come out and volunteer. Come out and support and help us. Don't worry, I got your back. So just come through.
Listen, Carol, I appreciate you. I know you'll be back.
Absolutely. Thank you, too, for having me. I appreciate it.
I want you to come back, right? I want you to come through here and talk as often as you possibly can.
If you got some water for me, I need some water.
It's the end of the month.
Them steps wasn't no joke.
It's the end of the month. We haven't been to the market. Usually, we go to the market. We have waters and pineapples and pretzels and everything, but things get hard, man.
Don't worry about it.
Right now, you got to swallow your spit.
I'm running for Stigma, so I'll bring you gallons of water, bro.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I'll bring you gallons of water. I can donate some water now.
Right.
I can donate some water.
Walking around water.
Right. Walking around water.
Right. So, but I definitely want everybody, man, on this live, man, to go to her website, Kazeem4PA.com, right?
It's FOR.
It's FOR?
Yeah, Kazeem, FORPA.com.
Man, listen.
Yeah, I was going to do the 4, but I said, you know what, Carol, you can't.
Can't what?
You got to explanatory. So Kazeem, FORPA.com. The old me would have said the number 4. But now we got to put
there it
FOR.
is, right? KazeemForPA.com, right?
Right.
I want you to go to KazeemForPA.com. I want you to check out the website. I want you to volunteer. I want you to look up what she's running on, what she's running for, why she's running, right? And support her. And if you don't support her, have some questions for her, bro. Like literally. Like, I mean, the best way for you to find out who you should vote for is to question the person that's running. So I want to do a forum. I don't know. I got to reach out to the other party and see, but I got to wait for you to get on the ballot.
All right.
So once we get on the ballot, let's try to have a forum where we talk about what we're running on. Again, like this is no knock. Understand, this radio station is for the people. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Alcoholics, non-alcoholics, weed heads, non-weed heads. People that have addiction problems, that don't have addiction problems, cheaters and faithful people. This radio station is for our community. I don't judge. I don't judge religion. I don't care where you are. If you're in this community, you can hear my voice, right? Understand CMP is a home for you, right? To talk about the things that you're dealing with. So I'm not taking anyone's side, right? Who I vote for is personal to me. Just like my religion is personal to me, right? It has nothing to do with no one else. And I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but I am going to sit here and we are going to have a conversation because community plus unity equals a community. I mean, communication plus unity equals a community. So, Carol, I'd like to thank you for stopping through, right?
Thank you.
Blessing us with your time. You've given us almost an hour. Understand, we're going to come back. We're going to do this again. And if y'all have any questions for Carol Kazeem, man, hit them in my inbox. Send them to me. Next time she come through here, I'll ask her the questions the way you want me to ask her. If there's anybody that wants to interview Carol Kazeem, their self, hit us up. Let us know, right? And you can come through here, sit in this room, and talk to her the same way I am doing it right now, man. Man, it's your boy Uncle P, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this great interview. I think she basically spoke. Well, she spoke for herself, but she put her whole campaign on the table, right? For you to understand why she's running, where she comes from, who she is, how she feels, and how old she is, man. 29 years old. Can't nobody knock that, right? For a 29-year-old to have the gumption to want to run is major. It's absolutely major. So major shout out to her, man. Hit her campaign contribution, man. Listen, every campaign needs money, right? So KazeemForPA.com, man. Hit her up. Donate some money, $5, $10, $20, whatever you got. Give the money up, right? Because she got to go into these communities. She needs handouts. She needs to knock on people's doors. She need to have water for them, right? Whatever she need to have for her volunteers, that has to come from campaign contribution. So, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Man, it's cmpradio.net. Carol, be safe. Don't hurt nobody. You hear me?
I'm not.
Right.
I've been chill.
I've been chilling.
Especially since I said I was running. I've definitely been chilling.
Nah, man, you got to chill at all times,
Yeah.
man. You feel me? Like, the logical person always wins, man. It's cmpradio.net. Going out, listen, we're playing Hope, right? By Amino Guns. I know it's a lot of N-words in it. I'm sorry to anyone that's listening. They don't like the N-words, right? But this song means a lot, right? It's giving them hope. And that's what we're trying to do out here in the city. Give people hope. So we're out of here, man. cmpradio.net. Peace.
You giving them hell. You fill it with pride. Do you send them to jail? I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie. And don't ever tell. I'm giving them hope. You giving them hell. You fill it with pride. Then you send them to jail. I'll give them a dream, I said, and you'll never fail. Just don't ever lie. And don't ever tell. Put it in your pocket before they come and pocket you, nigga. That's when they sit you on your pocket with a Glock to you, nigga. He ran out of time. Ain't make it to the hospital, nigga. His body cold, the stick inside it. He a popsicle, nigga. It always be the ones like